even game 1, his hand was like 2 lands on the draw.
Yeah, so we're going to bring you over to our other game. This is David Doberne versus John Benson. David Doberne's on the white-black mid-range deck. This is the deck championed by Paul Rietzel and Patrick Chapin from the Pro Tour. Rietzel actually top-aided with it.
Wrote a very good tournament report, which you can read on StarCityGames.com.
Benson is playing a green-red monstrous deck. It is not the one that top-aided. It's not a Nykthos deck. It's really a value cards deck.
It's more like Brad's build.
Yeah, he's down a game currently.
Well, Chandra Pyromancer taking out the Lifebane Zombie is pretty efficient.
Absolutely.
This is green-red Planeswalkers.
John has actually gone for a more aggressive approach with this green-red deck. He's only running 2 Pelucranos, and he's not running any Stormbreath Dragon. Instead, he's running... he has 4 Stormbreath Dragons, but he's only running 2 Pelucranos, and instead he's playing 4 Boros Reckoners.
Ooh.
Which is like very different for the archetype. Only has 1 Domri Rod.
That is interesting.
But speaking of cards, we see a card out of the board here. This is Rurik Thar the Unbowed, one of the 2 that he has in his sideboard. And Rurik Thar, pretty big game against removal heavy decks.
Yes. It's really big and hard to kill, and even if you kill it, it's probably going to cost you.
So Doberne's going to go ahead and play into the Domri Rod. It's going to play Elspeth, Sun's Champion. It'll immediately go down to 1, very suspect, to kill the Rurik Thar. 1's a little, there's a Chandra on the other side of the board.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that we didn't see a chump block, like make
plus
soldiers there.
Once and then, yeah.
Yeah, so Banisher Priest hits Chandra down to 4, but Elspeth is not long for this battlefield, and Chandra will go ahead and take care of it.
Chandra showing some pretty efficient usage here.
Yeah, so Chandra fell out of favor a little bit at the Pro Tour because of the printing of Xenagos the Reveler, just as a 4-mana Planeswalker. We see John here has a split of 2 and 2 of each of them.
I like that. Splitting Planeswalkers is good because they have different names, so you can have them both in play.
All right, we see a Lifebane Zombie down from Doberne, and Desecration Demon has the last card in his hand.
Big Daddy Demon's not too bad.
Yeah. The Desecration Demon is typically a very strong card against red-green strategies, just because it's actually pretty big.
Yeah, and the red-green, like, individual creatures are so important. Like, they don't have, just Judge's Familiars that they can throw away.
Yeah. Scavenging Ooze is going to go ahead and, I think, eat both graveyards. He can get up to a 5/5 right now. I don't think he can go larger. He only pumped it to a 4/4. Draft the turn. Both players are top decking at this point.
Well, with Boros Reckoner are pretty good. With killing the Lifebane Zombie with Chandra's ability and, say, sacrificing a creature to a Desecration Demon, you can get the Scavenging Ooze to, what, 7/7?
You could get to, if he had the mana, you could get it to, yeah, he does have the mana, thanks to Carrot, so he could get it all up to a 7.
That would have been a 2-turn clock. I think
Yeah, that Lifebane Zombie was not already exiled, but now it is. So, and Demon is going to go ahead and attempt to swing. Sylvan Caryatid does not let it, so Demon will be tapped to become a 7/7.
Sacrifice at the altar. Protect the Planeswalker.
Yeah, and this is where it can be difficult for red-green. He has to continue to make sacrifices basically to the Demon.
Yeah.
It's interesting, John's choosing not to fully pump the Scavenging Ooze. He's only pumping it as big as he needs it to be, it looks like.
In case it dies and
he draws another Scavenging Ooze.
I like that.
He has a full set of Scavenging Ooze in his deck right now.
This is a well over lethal attack, so
right.
No need to pump it up.
Chandra Plus is going to tap Banisher Priest, dealing 1 to Doberne. Is 6 damage going to be enough? No, he said it's actually tapped. And Doomblade will hit Scavenging Ooze. So a very good heads-up play by John not getting the rest of his graveyard.
Yeah.
But here's a good answer for Desecration Demon, and it's going to be Xenagos the Reveler.
Tick up.
Actually, he made a post-combat Xenagos there.
Yeah.
The Satyrs do have haste. So Desecration Demon, they're going to enter attack phase. We will see whether or not Desecration Demon is allowed to attack. I can't imagine it's going to be.
Yeah, token's already gone.
Token's already gone. Demon's up to an 8/8. And now Doberne has to be careful. Remember that, yeah.
I was gonna say, with 2 planeswalkers in play, drawing 1 card a turn is likely not gonna be enough.
Right, John basically gets 3 cards a turn, and they're gonna be going to a game 3. That is really one of the strengths of the green-red deck right now, is how many planeswalkers it has access to. We see it has really 4 planeswalkers it can use. It has both the Chandra and Garruk from the core set, as well as Domirad and Xenagos.
Yeah. Not to mention, you know, if they're playing the God version, they can have Nylea, and I've seen a lot of the lists have Hammer of Porphyros, which is kind of like a planeswalker in and of itself.
Definitely.
And yeah, I mean, just all these cards that basically are card advantage, inherent card advantage for this pseudo aggro deck is pretty powerful.
Yeah, so in case you're wondering about the boards of each player, we saw John did bring in Rurkthars for the matchup. He also is playing some Change to the Rocks in his sideboard. He has he has a pair of Sacred Foundries in his deck, actually, so that he could be playing Change to the Rocks. So he could be casting. I mean, you can cast Change to the Rocks off of the Sylvan Caryatids.
I was going to say, so he has 6 ways to cast this?
He has 7. He has a Temple, 2 Sacred Foundries, and 4 Caryatids.
Okay.
We know he's using the Rurkthars in the matchup. I'm not sure he's using Chain to the Rocks. That's probably all he actually has on the board for the matchup. He actually is running a main deck Mistcutter Hydra. He has extras on the board.
I saw a lot of those in the Pro Tour lists, people main decking that card.
I mean, especially if you have I saw it in a lot of the Nykthos builds.
Yeah. Yeah, you can pump out like a 10/10 on turn 4. It's pretty good. Uncounterable Haste Pro Blue.
And then David has brought in Lifebane Zombies, which we saw last game, and he probably also brings in, he has an extra Banisher Priest and an extra Elspeth Sun's Champion, which are both very good against red-green decks.
Yep. Devour Flesh, probably okay, not great. Fiendslayer Paladin, probably not coming in. Blood Baron, probably not coming in. So yeah, looks about right. Just removal and big dudes. I would say that Whip is one of the most important cards in this matchup.
Yeah, so Whip of Erebos, there's a 1 of Whip in the deck, right?
Yeah.
So in this matchup, the lifelink is pretty important. One of the questions is, you know, black-white is not a pure control deck. It kind of has to turn that corner at some point and start becoming an aggro deck. And I guess, how do you see, like, you know, what's black-white's game plan here?
Well, it's a weird deck because it operates in so many different phases and has so many different types of draws. Like, you can see a draw of, you know, Soldier of Pantheon into Precinct Captain, into Banisher Priest, into Desecration Demon, and then the next game you can see a curve of Thoughtseize into Doomblade, into, you know, a defensive Banisher Priest, into a Whip, and it's just complete, or like Read the Bones on 3 into Whip, and it's just completely different deck that is like beats different types of draws, and you have to play specifically against what they're doing. I think that the phases of the games for this matchup are going to be more leaning towards the black-white deck being the control.
Right, Doomblade's excellent against green.
Yes. Thoughtseizes and Doomblade sort of just 1-for-1-ing, and then either Read the Bones, Whip, or Elspeth to really turn the corner. I don't think that it's too likely that a demon is going to be able to do it on its own. Maybe like a demon and an Obsidat, that would probably be able to turn the corner pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, really, like, your end step is Elspeth, right?
Yes.
So one of the things when I'm looking at the black-white deck is that to me it looks like, I guess I'd call like a metagame deck.
It has a bunch of specific cards for
very specific. You know, it's very odd to be playing 18 creature deck with 4 Soldier of the Pantheon, 4 Precinct Captain, for example.
Yes.
And then no real follow-up on it. It was obviously very good at the PT metagame, but I'm interested to see how it develops as the season goes on. So we start here, both players start on a tapped land followed by a Thoughtseize from Doberne. He's looking at John's hand, which was a 6-card hand thanks to a mulligan. It's got a 2-mana Accelerant and Sylvan Caryatid, a Boon Satyr, a Xenagos, and then 3 more lands. So the plan was a turn 3 Zanago, so I'm not sure if the plan is still happening. The question is which card he wants to take out of it.
Definitely taking one of those pieces.
Yeah, and he takes, it looks like the Sylvan Caryatid.
I like it. Look, we saw last season how insane Farseek was.
Right.
And this is just, you know, the next evolution.
I think people were worried about Caryatid not being able to replace Farseek because a lot of times we initially assumed that the green-red deck would be an Anger of the Gods deck.
Yeah.
But it really hasn't gone that direction.
Ooh, another Thoughtseize.
The second Thoughtseize. This one
Probably the Planeswalker.
takes Zanago. So now John's just left with a Boon Satyr.
Pretty unimpressive on his own.
I'm replacing lands. The thing is, the question is, as long as David has lands and some follow-up, like, and some threat, this looks to be pretty good for him.
Wowza.
Lifebane
Look at that curve.
Lifebane Zombie takes out the Boon Satyr.
Just tearing John's hand apart. Chandra's pretty good.
Yeah, Chandra's a good draw here for John.
Yeah.
For sure. It'll take out the Lifebane Zombie, and I don't believe Doberne has an answer to it right now. But he's going to try to dig to either an answer to it or really just a threat.
Yeah, a demon would suffice. Demon, Obsidian, Hero's Downfall. A lot of cards he could hit, and he did keep the card on top. And another Lifebane Zombie.
And he does hit a creature off the second Lifebane Zombie. Hits a Rook there. So that's 4 cards he's made Benson discard here.
Yeah, he is tearing that hand up, and now we see the Chandra come down, take out one of the Lifebane Zombies. The fact that he ran the other Lifebane Zombie into the Chandra indicates to me that he has Hero's Downfall here.
Yeah, at least here's on or maybe just a threat, like a large threat. He's gonna go ahead and swing just directly at John.
Yeah, this is Hero's Downfall. Oh, no, it is not.
Desecration Demon.
It is the other black card, a giant demon.
I think he was worried. What that system means, like he's worried that he'll get value off them if he waits too long.
Yeah.
And it turns out he did get the value he was looking for off them.
Yeah, that is true.
Scavenging Ooze hits for Benson. Plenty of fodder. Well, there's at least 2 Lifebane Zombies for it. Remember, Lifebane Zombie actually exiles creatures instead of discarding them.
Yes, so that is 2 less cards than he would have otherwise. Looks like a Doomblade in David's hand. He's thinking about, you know, just wiping John's board here.
Yeah,
whether he's going for the kill.
Yeah, if he Doomblade's pre-combat, then John doesn't have the option of sacking Scavenging Ooze. I'm not sure John would. It looks like Doberne really doesn't want to take that risk.
Sure.
He knows John's hand was really, you know, when he took all the cards of it, it was very light on threats. I think it's very possible John just has lands.
Yeah, I agree.
And that may be it. John plays Stomping Ground, passes the turn, has 1 card remaining, and Desecration Demon's going to go to work on his life total, putting him down to 8.
This is the exact game state that this black-white deck wants to sculpt. All of these type Desecration Demon decks, you know. 5
removal spells and then a 6/6.
Yep. A bunch of 1-for-1s and then a giant dude.
Yeah, and Desecration Demon is one of those cards that when it was initially printed, I don't think got really the respect it deserved. You know, it's interesting that we've seen it in the last 6 months really come to its place in the metagame.
Yeah.
And David just cast a Banisher Priest there without a target. He was wanted to represent 8 points of damage just on the next turn.
Yep.
But John did have an end step Boon Satyr. He's just going to swing here.
Wouldn't actually mind a block there.
Well, I think he's probably planning to sack it to the demon. And in response to a Thoughtseize, John casts another Boon Satyr.
David getting a little ahead of himself, thought he was going for lethal, but the other Boon Satyr can definitely still be sacrificed.
Yeah, you can sack one to the demon. So Banisher Priest comes down to hit the Boon Satyr that Benson had played, move to attacks. John's last card is sacrificed to the demon, and he only takes 2 from Banisher Priest.
Time to Miracle of Bonfire.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we're past that.
That wouldn't even do it though. That's not good.
You know you're behind when a Miracle of Bonfire wouldn't get you out of it.
Well, the problem here is that Desecration Demon is going to takes away almost all the draws that John has.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm not sure he has some, you know, I don't think he has enough damage. He could draw running Stormbreath Dragons. Is what he'd have to do, because then he can deal damage while sacrificing the demon.
Sack, and then something
draw
else.
a burn spell or something. It's a long shot, I think.
Well, that Mutavault makes it so that's not even possible anymore.
Yep. John goes to 4 on that attack, draws a land, and that will be it.
There's the game.
So David Doberne, 2-1, defeats John Benson.
How awesome was that curve? Turn 2, double Thoughtseize, turn 3, Lifebane Zombie hit, turn 4, Lifebane Zombie hit.
Well, what I like is that the Thoughtseize